If you want to buy cheap FIFA 20 Ultimate Team coins, go and check out MMOPO.com and use the discount code EGHD for 8% off your order. Yes guys, welcome back to a new video. Today we're going to be looking at icons again, specifically for 500,000 coins or less that are going to be centre backs for your team. Now if you missed them, previous videos we've done are 250,000 coins for icons and also strikers that are 500k or less that are also icons. So if you missed those videos, go check them out. And without further ado guys, let's get straight into it and look at the centre backs we're going to be comparing today. So the first two centre backs we're going to be looking at is Koeman and Rijkaard, the Dutch links. And then the other team that I'm going to be using is with Puyol and Baby Hierro, although you can also go for Mid Hierro. We'll get into that when we start talking about Hierro specifically. Now actually, before I get into the video guys, usually I'll be showing you a picture of the players with the prices, but I feel like it's really misleading because at the moment a player's price might go up 50,000 coins or 100,000 coins, or one might come down. So I feel like if I put the prices of these players in the video, it could be misleading. But for the purpose of this video, all the icons are going to be 500,000 coins or less, either on PlayStation or Xbox. On PC, it's always a little bit more expensive. But what we're going to do is we're going to start off with the most expensive player on that list, and that is Carlos Puyol. As you can see here, he's actually one of the slower players as well, but I really wanted to use him because he has such high defending stats. As you can see, 93 defending on his actual card. He also has super high strength and aggression with good stamina, very good jumping. Even though he's 5'10", I feel like because FIFA 20 you don't really concede much on crossing or corners, it's not as important. So let's roll into the clips. Because this is defenders, it's going to be quite weird. I'm actually clipping all the times that someone's attacking me rather than me scoring goals, if that makes sense. So it's quite a weird one to be showing you like defender highlights, but what you'll find is with Puyol, he does a lot of AI defending, AI interceptions, as you can see, just basically just sticking a leg out. And something I really liked about Puyol was the fact that when he did intercept the ball, it was like a magnet to his feet in most situations. Although he does have his drawbacks, he is the slowest out of all the players that I'm going to be comparing. At 72 pace, it doesn't sound that slow, but there were times where I felt like if I had Koeman, if I had Baby Hierro, someone a bit quicker, even Eder Militao, obviously he's a very quick player, he would have won the ball. Whereas with Puyol, I found the best way to play with him is to just let the AI do the work. And it sounds really bad, but you know, if you've got someone like Hierro or a fast centre back, it's better just to use them and let Puyol do his work off the ball. The next player is going to be Fernando Hierro. As I said, the baby option, although you can go for a mid, who is pretty much the same price. I prefer Baby Hierro because he has better agility and he's quicker. And typically the way that I like to defend is I like to apply a bit of pressure and almost fake my movements. You'll see a lot of that in this, where I'll come forwards and then I'll move back again and I'm able to cover another passing lane. That's something that you can't really do with Puyol. He doesn't have the agility and he doesn't have the pace to be able to do that. It's more of the agility and balance that you can't do that with players like Puyol. But Hierro is brilliant, especially in the air as well. He's 6'2" with very high jumping. I can't remember, it's like either low to mid 90s. So like he's not going to lose a header at all. Something else I really liked about Hierro was the fact that once he's won the ball, I felt a lot safer passing the ball. I felt a lot safer dribbling, and the amount of goals you'll concede with a bad pass or just a really stiff defender could be like 2 or 3 goals every like 10 games. Or if you're playing the weekend league, you can lose big games from just a defender mishap. So it's nice to have, even though he's the lowest rated player on this list, he's actually a very calm player on the ball, which is nice. You can see here, very nice interceptions. I think he's actually one of my favourite on the list, but we'll get to a summary as we get to the end of the video. You can see here a few clips of me just winning jumping battles very easily, very comfortably. And the next player we're going to use, guys, is 88 mid Rijkaard. So 78 pace is actually the fastest out of all of these players on here. But he is a little bit taller and he's a little bit lower on balance. So it's interesting to see how he played in game. Now, when it actually came to in game, he definitely didn't feel the fastest. I felt like once I've committed with him, you'll see here, like, he didn't have great pace at all, and I think it was down to that lower balance. So I actually felt like out of this list, he was probably like the 3rd fastest, or basically 2nd slowest, in other words. So the pace is kind of misleading, and generally overall, I was disappointed with this card. He didn't seem as reliable as I expected him. You know, a couple of tackles I made just kind of bounced away. He didn't keep the ball. So like Puyol, for example, was great at making a tackle and coming away with the ball. Rijkaard, on the other hand, cost me a few goals, which I felt like all the other players in this list, I wouldn't have conceded those opportunities, if that makes sense. You can see a couple of these opportunities. I'm playing quite high pressure because I'm using Koeman in the same team. Rijkaard, when he tries to do it, he just didn't have the balance and agility to get back in a lot of these situations. I was kind of left for dead. And yeah, if you're a very active centre-back, then I would recommend not using Rijkaard. And then the last player we're going to look at, guys, is going to be Koeman. Very excited to use this player. 88 rated, mid version. He's the fastest version of him, so 77 pace. But the difference is he has 70 agility and 68 balance, so a lot better there. He isn't as strong as the players like Rijkaard and Puyol, but something he does have is just that, I don't know, he just feels free on the ball. And whenever I won the ball, I felt like I had all the time in the world to pass the ball off, because if you press pass, it's more likely to go where you aimed. Unlike with, you know, Rijkaard and Puyol, especially Puyol, that is one of Puyol's main weaknesses, was the passing. But yeah, a lot of time. Look at this tackle here, bang, straight in with a slide tackle. No one else on this list. Maybe Hierro might have got that because he's almost as quick. But if you're someone that applies pressure high up the pitch, like you can see here, I'm pushing very high into the midfield with Koeman. I feel like I can do that and get away with it because he can always cover his tracks. And yeah, if you're someone that applies a lot of pressure like that, this is definitely the centre-back to go for out of these four. I think that it's good to have a combination of two types of centre-backs. One that's more steady and one that can be more aggressive. And Koeman is definitely that aggressive player. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to actually play him like in a more of attacking role, but maybe in the future I can. So I know this video has been a little bit shorter, but as I said, we are comparing clips of defenders, and typically the clips are a lot shorter and they're not as interesting. Whereas obviously if you look at strikers, you could see like a 20-second clip of a build-up, an assist, a goal. But I think the evidence is quite conclusive. I think that if we rated this on a tier list of 4 to 1, Rijkaard is right at the bottom. These are all great centre-backs. I'll give Rijkaard like an 8 out of 10. But the problem with him was that he felt a little bit clunky on the ball. And compared to the others, at times he just felt a little bit too clunky. I just didn't like it at all. And then third in the list for me was going to be Puyol. He's a great centre-back, especially if you're going to be using the other centre-back to push up. He's great at like basically AI movements. He will cover the right interception. He'll be in the right place at the right time. But if you make one wrong move, if you go to make a tackle and you get skilled, you get ball rolled, that's it. Like, you're not going to be able to cover that run anymore. So that's why it's third in my list, because the way that I defend and the people that I play against, I'm quite aggressive and I need to be able to cover. That's why I like players like Eder Militao, Lenglet, Varane, those types of players with about at least 75 pace. And then second in this list, guys, is going to be Koeman. It's very, very close, but I just think that if you want an out-and-out centre-back, then Hierro is going to be the better option for you. He was more reliable. He had the pace, the physical stats, the defending stats to make a good tackle, pass it off. Whereas sometimes Koeman was a little bit too much. He would actually make attacking runs or be not in the right position all the time. Whereas I feel like Hierro, even though he's the cheapest on this list and he's actually the lowest rated player in this list, he is the best centre-back for this kind of price range. So that's my summary of the best Icon defenders you can get for 500,000 coins or less. Obviously, we do have the left-back and the right-back position. There's less players in those positions. I feel like you guys can work that out. There's only a few players that are really usable in those positions. If you want me to cover another budget or another position, maybe some midfielders like CDMs or attacking midfielders, let me know in the comments. In a few weeks' time, what I'm going to do a video on prime icons, but obviously at the moment they are just coming into packs and they're very expensive. So I want them to come down in price a little bit so we can see which ones are going for which price and we can make a video on them as well. But if you're feeling generous, guys, and you've made it this far, then if you can leave a like on the video, that would be greatly appreciated. Also, make sure you subscribe as well if you're not already subscribed. Hit that notification bell. You might be subscribed, but you probably haven't hit that notification bell because it's been a long time since you subscribed. But anyway, guys, I have been waffling for way too long now. Thank you for watching. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.